What happened to the members of ABBA?
ABBA has stretched across generations, turning skeptics into believers with their amazing music, stage shows, and films. But how much do you really know about the people who have brought us so much joy? Here's what happened to the members of ABBA. The Eurovision Song Contest is a yearly songwriting competition.
Over or under is clickbait. The grunge is pretty good, though.
That was first held on May 24th, 1956. Although only 7 countries participated in the first Eurovision, the contest has grown to include over 40 countries, becoming one of the biggest pop culture events in the world. Originally, participants sang in their country's national language, but in 1965, the Swedish entry was sung in English. The competition reacted by passing.
Wait. They only could sing in their native language before? We just watched all the Eurovision performances, and I was kind of saying, I was like, dude, these all sound like pop music. Like, it all sounds like stuff I'd hear on the radio here in America. And I'm like, I wish it would kind of have some more elements of whatever music is more traditional to their countries. Maybe just they all listen to pop everywhere. Everybody listens to pop. But it was all like rave EDM music. It sounded like poppy. It was good. But I'm like, I wish I would just get more culture. If they sang in our native language, that'd be cool.
Over 40
Who was it? It was in the 2026. It was
countries, becoming one of the biggest.
Peru, Portugal. They like sung in our native language, and it was like a whole bunch of guys dancing, and it was terrible. It was like the worst performance.
Pop culture.
So I guess like maybe don't do that, but
events in the world.
In theory, it'd be nice.
Originally, participants sang in their country's national language, but in 1965, the Swedish entry was sung in English. The competition reacted by passing a rule requiring participants to sing in their native languages, a rule that remained in place until 1973. That year, ABBA tried to make it into the competition, but their song, Ring Ring, came in third in their national competition to select the Swedish representative. But then they got a break that would help launch them to international stardom. In 1974, Eurovision temporarily relaxed their rules against performing in a different language. ABBA swept in with the English language song Waterloo, and a legend was born. So, how did ABBA come about? Musicians Bjorn Ulvaeus and Benny Andersson met in 1966. And 3 years later, they met Agneta Fältskog and Annie Frid Lyngstad, known as Frida. It turned out that they made beautiful music together, both literally and figuratively. Fältskog and Ulvaeus became a couple.
I guess that's not a good rule, to sing in your native language. I get because it really takes a lot of people out, and also like songs, and it's just such a limiting factor when you really think about
marrying in 1971. And Lyngstad and Andersson also became a couple, eventually marrying in 1978.
This is Frida, I hope she's going to be my wife.
I hope for your sake, too.
We're engaged right now. This is Anna, married to Bjorn.
By then, ABBA had been born. In 1972, the two couples formed a musical group, which they originally called Bjorn and Benny, Agneta and Annie Frid. But by 1974, they'd shortened it to ABBA.
They just called it their name.
Using the first initials of their 4 first names. At first, their success at Eurovision was as much a negative as a positive.
Oh, that guitar is tough.
But by 1974, they'd shortened it to ABBA, using the first initials of their 4 first names. At first, their success.
It's like an asterisk.
At Eurovision was as much a negative as a positive, as there was a stigma around winning the competition. But in 1975, their new singles, SOS and Mamma Mia, became their first big worldwide hits, propelling them to the top of the global charts for years to come. In 1977, they even put out the feature film, ABBA the Movie. They seemed to be on top of the world. Unfortunately, things began going wrong just as they hit the highest highs, and in part because of those highs. In 1978, the same year Lyngstad and Andersson married, Fältskog and Ulvaeus announced their divorce. Lyngstad and Andersson's marriage didn't last long either, and by 1981 they had also announced their divorce, as the pressures of stardom took a toll on both relationships.
Are they back together now? Because they did the ABBA Voyage concert, and we've seen a lot of videos of them like when they're older, and they're always all together.
Still, they continued to work together, putting out their 8th album, The Visitors, in 1981. Looking back at those days, Ulvaeus later said, "Agneta and my divorce was an amicable one. We just grew apart and decided let's split up. Benny and Frida's was a little more difficult. It was not a happy time, but still very creative." The writing was on the wall, though. In 1982, ABBA didn't release any new music, putting out instead a greatest hits compilation album. And a year later, they went on an indefinite hiatus. The idea was that they could get
Bro, that's when you know when artists are just like out of ideas. They throw the greatest hits, the extended deluxe version.
back together if they ever wanted to. In the early 1980s, Tim Rice came to Ilvius and Anderson with the idea for a musical, and by 1984,
Like Bryson Tiller did
Chess
that.
was born, a musical about a Cold War-era chess match between the Soviet Union and the United States of America. The LP was released in 1984, and the musical made its London stage premiere in 1986. Chess tells the story of a love triangle between the American Grandmaster, the Russian champion, and the Hungarian-American chess second. Unfortunately, the musical received a poor review by the New York Times' Frank Rich, who described the love triangle as ricocheting arbitrarily between the American and the Soviet players, as if she had no self-respect or political convictions. The review was damaging. Chess received no Tony Award nominations and crashed out after a short and financially damaging run. Still, despite Chess' lack of success, some of its songs like One Night in Bangkok and I Know Him So Well went on to become international hits. And even though the New York production closed after just a few months, the London production ended up running for more than 3 years. Agneta Feldskog was a successful solo artist before ABBA, so when the band went on hiatus, she went back to her solo career. Her first album after ABBA, which was also her first English-language solo album, came out in May 1983, titled Wrap Your Arms Around Me. The
Oh, we should listen to that.
album did incredibly well in Sweden, and it ultimately sold over 1 million copies worldwide. The success of her solo albums gave Feldskog some needed distance from ABBA. She later told the Salt Lake Tribune, "There was several years after I had stopped with the group that I couldn't listen to the music." Feldskog recorded 2 more albums, Eyes of a Woman and I Stand Alone, but by 1987, she was worn down, and after I Stand Alone was released that year, she took a break from music that wound up lasting 17 years. She later said, "I was so tired and just wanted to be calm and be with my children." After taking a break from her solo career, Feldskog retreated from the spotlight and focused on just living her life. According to the Irish Independent, her time in ABBA had resulted in a phobia of large crowds and open spaces, and she also suffered from a fear of flying and stage fright. It wasn't until 2004 that
Just like some PTSD. Like, man, I did that so many years, I can't do it again.
Feldskog came
I'm never hopping on a
back
plane
to
again.
music with her album My Coloring Book, followed by A in 2013. Both albums went gold in multiple countries. Frida Lyngstad also had a solo career before joining ABBA, and she resumed her solo career once ABBA went on their indefinite break. Lyngstad's first post-ABBA solo album, which was also her first solo English-language album, was Something's Going
Wait, so the girls kind of, when everyone separated, the girls kind of went to their own thing, and then the guys like were just like, no, let's just still stay with ABBA, and they made the musical, right?
On,
Or is that
produced by
later?
Phil Collins. According to the official ABBA website,
Correct. Was it Born or Benny? I get them confused, but I know one of them, like
Link-
the Bjorn, right?
Lyngstad also wanted
Was like dead set on. He made so much happen after the group broke up. He like did the musical and found other ways to promote their music and get the music that they already created. He's like, these projects are amazing. We gotta keep getting them out there. And then I guess like ABBA got even bigger when it was all said and
Collins
done.
to produce her
Mainly thanks to Bjorn.
next
right?
album, Shine, but unfortunately, he was just too busy with his own music.
Well, I like those
Although
colors.
both albums did well across Europe, Lyngstad ended up putting her solo career on pause, though she occasionally would work on projects that interested her. But most of her work became focused on environmental charities. In the 1990s, Lyngstad joined the Natural Step and Artists for the Environment. In 1996, Lyngstad went back to music with her Swedish-language album, Deep Breaths, which was one of the first in the country to be released with a video CD-ROM. According to ABBA Experience, the album was incredibly successful in Sweden. Still, though there have been several re-releases, remixes, and compilation albums since, Lyngstad has yet to record another solo album for tragic reasons. In 1992, Lyngstad married Prince Heinrich Russo Russ, Count of Plauen, and officially became Princess Anne Fried Seine of Russ, Countess of Plauen. The Coast writes that although the House of Russ doesn't formally rule over any territories anymore, they once controlled land in modern-day Thuringia, until the territories were taken into Germany in 1918. But tragically, there was no fairy tale happiness. In 1998, Anneliese Lotte Fredriksson Kasper, Lyngstad's daughter from her first marriage to Ragnar Fredriksson, died in a car accident in New York State.
Okay, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I'm really trying to keep up, but when she says these names, it's just confusing me. Ansham Flinka Schlinga Schlang.
98, Anneliese Lotte Fredriksson Kasper, Lyngstad's daughter from her first
Ansling Schlangen Friedslin Slasher.
marriage to Ragnar Fredriksson,
Hashlinging Slash.
died in a car accident in New York State. And in 1999, Prince Russo Russ died of lymphoma, according to You Discover Music, making Lyngstad the Dowager Princess of Russ. According to AllMusic, Lyngstad had originally planned on doing a third solo album, but after her daughter's tragic death and her husband's passing, she stopped work on the album indefinitely. According to Smooth Radio, Lyngstad now lives in Zermatt, Switzerland, with her partner Henry Smith, 5th Viscount Hambledon. She continues to make guest
Bro, she keeps marrying like princes and
appearances
next in line to the
on
throne.
occasional singles, and also makes public appearances with the other members of ABBA, albeit rarely. According to the official website for the Mamma Mia musical, the idea to make ABBA's work into a Broadway production came way back in the early 80s, when Ulvaeus and Anderson were working with Tim Rice on chess. Judy Kramer was working for Rice at the time and decided to approach Ulvaeus and Anderson about the idea of an ABBA musical. Ulvaeus and Anderson were initially skeptical, but Kramer kept at it for years, until finally in 1995, Ulvaeus said, quote, "If you can find the right writer and story, well, let's see what happens." Kramer brought in Katherine Johnson as a writer and Phillida Lloyd as the director, and before long, Mamma Mia was a go. On April 6, 1999, the 25-year anniversary of ABBA winning the Eurovision Song Contest, Mamma Mia had its world premiere at the Prince Edward Theatre. The 25-year anniversary of ABBA winning the Eurovision Song Contest, Mamma Mia had its world premiere at the Prince Edward Theatre. The 25-year Kramer brought in Katherine Johnson
When did they win the
as a
Eurovision?
writer and Phillida Lloyd as the director, and before long, Mamma Mia was a go. On April 6, 1999, the 25-year anniversary of ABBA winning the
In 99.
Eurovision Song Contest, Mamma Mia had its world premiere at the Prince Edward Theatre in London's West End. The show became such an international success that it was translated into numerous
Like they had another Eurovision, or was she talking about after their first
languages.
Eurovision win?
It opened on Broadway in October 2001 and ran for more than 5,700 performances. When it finally closed in September 2015, it was the 8th longest-running Broadway show in history, and it also jumped to the big screen in 2008 with a hit film version starring Meryl Streep, Colin Firth, Stellan Skarsgård, and Pierce Brosnan. It was a massive hit, especially in the UK and Ireland, where it became
Wait, Meryl Streep, that's the lady that plays Anna Wintour in The Devil Wears Prada, right?
the highest-grossing film ever.
What was her name?
To that point,
In the
the
movie.
success eventually prompted a sequel, Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, in 2018. In 1993, Frida performed Dancing Queen for Queen Sylvia of Sweden's 50th birthday, but she did it without the other members of ABBA. Even in 2010, when ABBA was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the group didn't reunite. Though it's traditional for new inductees to perform, only Frida and Benny attended, and only Benny performed. And it shouldn't have been a surprise. Over the years, various members made comments that seemed to suggest that the ABBA part of their lives was over. In an interview in 2008, Bjorn Ulvaeus stated, "We will never appear on stage again. There is simply no motivation to regroup. Money is not a factor, and we would like people to remember us as we were, young, exuberant, full of energy and ambition." According to the Lad Bible,
That's kind of a good point though. Like good thing to do. Like retiring while you still got it. Like Khabib. Like people hate Khabib. Y'all don't know. He's like one of the best UFC fighters of all time, but people don't like him because he like ended his career early. They're like, you could have kept going, and a lot of fighters will do that. They'll end on a win, like on a winning streak. Like it's like, ooh, let me quit while I'm at the top. Versus a lot of other fighters, Tony Ferguson, you know, they start losing, they lose one fight, and they might win one, and they lose 2 fights in a row. Losing 8 fights in a row, it's like, oof.
and yet
You kind of taint your career when you do that.
Feldskog also
Unless you're like LeBron James, 40 years old, still out there. Like
said in 2014,
Looking
I think we
amazing,
have
but-
to accept that it will not happen because we are too old and each one of us has their own life. Too many years have gone by since we stopped, and there's really no meaning in putting us together again. Frida Lyngstad also stated that, quote, no amount of money could change their minds. And she meant it. Business Insider reports that in 2000, ABBA even turned down a $1 billion deal to reunite for 100 shows. Billion, with a B. $1 billion. And though Anderson and Alvius have worked together on numerous projects over the years, Anderson has admitted
yeah, I'm like they're active.
that
Like,
they never
ABBA
felt
stuff.
tempted to reunite ABBA. Quote, because we've been so busy doing other things. But has that finally changed? Since all the members of ABBA made it pretty clear that a reunion wasn't on the horizon, fans were surprised and delighted in 2017
I mean, they did with the Voyage. Right?
when ABBA announced that they would be doing a reunion tour. However, there was a twist. Instead of the actual members of ABBA, the songs would be performed by digital avatars of the 4 group members, accompanied by a live band. Ulvius said, it's a kind of ABBA tribute show, but the centerpiece will be something I call avatars. It is digital versions of ABBA from 1979. The tour was initially announced
Yeah, we saw the avatars
for
genius.
2019, but after a series of delays, it's now expected to launch in 2022. And those delays actually ended up being
so
a
this is
great
old,
thing
this
for
video?
ABBA fans, because it unexpectedly inspired
Okay, this came out in 2021.
an actual ABBA reunion at long last. In 2018, ABBA announced that while working on their delayed Avatar project, they decided to record some new music as well. According to The Guardian, ABBA released a statement saying, we all felt that after some 35 years, it could be fun to join forces again and go into the recording studio. So we did. And it was like time had stood still and we had only been away on a short holiday. An extremely joyful experience. At the time, there were just 2 new songs announced, but in 2021, the band confirmed that they will be releasing at least 5 new songs, saying, there will be new music this year. Songs announced, but
Is this Bjorn? Okay, no. This looked like he was wearing a dress. But no, it's like one
in
of those
2021,
suits.
the band confirmed that they will be releasing at least 5 new songs, saying, there will be new music this year. That is definite. It's not a case anymore of it might happen. It will happen. After 4 decades, the sad breakup of ABBA might finally get a different ending.
The avatars
Bro, I love hearing this guy talk.
hint at another ending, a happy ending, perhaps.
Check out one of our newest videos right here.
All right, let's watch some vlogs on the Voyage concert.
Damn, I'm on my Britney shit. Oops, I hit again.